Hi, I'm Jane, and this is
Ella.
And that's Genevieve.
Genevieve!
Ella's gonna be my assistant today, and we are gonna do a quick warm-up before we do our other exercises. Alright, we're gonna start today just standing. We're gonna start with some shoulder shrugs. Inhale and exhale. And you can do as many of these as you want. We are going to do a warm-up for our shoulders and a little bit for our core and hips. And we're going to start bending our knees and getting into our back a little bit. And then start curving your back more and looking up a little bit, just getting your back warmed up. Bring your arms up and then do a small little back bend, another curve, and up. And one more curve, roll up. Let's do one more shoulder shrug. And then as you bring it down, just connect your core. Inhale, hands together at heart. Open up. Exhale, forward fold. You can bend your knees here. And then we're going to step our feet back to a tabletop. We're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale, cat-cow. Arch your back, exhale. Curve your back. Cat. I don't know if I said that wrong. Cow and cat. Okay, then we're going to go side to side. And then we're going to press back to a child's pose. Hands can be forward or back. I like to grab my heels. I'm going to bring my hands back and I'm going to walk my hands to the right. I'm going to look underneath my right shoulder, my left shoulder. Get a nice side stretch. Walk my hands back to the other side. And open up my other shoulder. Get a nice stretch there. And back to the center. We're going to come back to tabletop. Lift up one arm. Thread the needle through. Get a nice shoulder stretch. We can stay here, or you can take your leg out and bring your arm up and behind your back, grabbing your other thigh. Come back to tabletop, unwind, and switch sides. Inhale up, exhale, thread through. Do the same thing you did on both sides to create symmetry. You'll probably notice one side is different than the other. And back to center. Now we're going to press back, high plank. We're going to lower down to our belly. We're going to lift up and down. This time we're going to take our hands by our chest. We're going to lift up with no hands. Reach out of your lower back and back down. Do this as many times as you need to. Then we're going to press back to a high plank, then to downward dog, tread out your feet. Look at your hands, walk up to chair pose. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, send them back, airplane arms, and lift your heels off the floor. Again, inhale up, and exhale back, and roll up to standing. We're going to start with the sunset, or continue with the sun salutation. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift your head up. Halfway lift, exhale, hands on the mat. Step back either to your feet or to your knees. Ella is going to do the modification on the knees. You're going to lower down halfway. You're going to flip your feet. You're going to reach up, lift your shoulders back, and then exhale. Down dog again. If you want to take a little bit more time here, shift back and forth, get yourself more warmed up. Then we're going to lift a right leg high. Send it through. Inhale, crescent lunge. And exhale, low lunge. Give yourself a nice hip flexor stretch here. you want, you can walk your leg out to the side. You can also tip your leg out a little bit, whatever you need. I like to go back and forth. Then we're going to lift, engage our core. As we do this, lift our leg back and up into a scorpion. Twist your right shoulder to the mat and then twist your right hip back. So you're going in opposite directions. Back down, lift your other leg, inhale. Exhale, bring it through, low lunge. Inhale, arms up. Crescent lunge. Hands down to the mat, hip flexor stretch. And bring it back through to scorpion. Keeping your shoulders as square to the mat as you can. Back to down dog. Look up, step, chair. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, back. And inhale, rise to mountain, hands at heart. It's almost TTP. Do as many flows of those as you need to get yourself feeling like you're warm and ready to go. Okay, for this next exercise, you're going to use a strap. You can get one of the straps for your kayak. You can use a leash. Ella's using a leash for her dog, my dog. If you want, you can even use a paddle, and that's going to give you a little bit of like resistance, a little bit of weight, I guess. I'm going to show you with the strap first and then the paddle. So this is a core exercise. You might want to do a few core stuff before this to warm it up more. This is going to kind of help you with that extra little push when you're trying to put your skirt on. So what you're going to do is you're going to take, I'm going to show you the version of, one version, then I'm going to show you the other version with Ella. So you're going to take your feet and you're going to bring them, and I like to point it because it's going to give myself a little bit of an extra challenge, but you can also flex. You're going to bring your feet on top of the rope and then down to a low boat and then back up and then oops, and then over and down and over and down. So you can see when you point your feet, it's a little bit of extra pull there for your core to really get tight in there. Once again, you can flex if you want to. Ella's going to show you modification. You're just going to keep your feet on the floor here if you don't want to go into a low boat, and you're just going to go here and touch and here and touch. Okay, here we go. Let's do a few of these together. Ready? Okay, inhale and exhale as you bring your rope around your feet and down and up. Exhale and down and up and down and up and down. And the more tight you can keep the rope, the more challenge it is. Okay, keep going, Ella. With your paddle, it would just look like this. Up and over, even more of a challenge. And down, up and over, and down. And there you go. Okay, another exercise you can do for core. You're gonna get in your kayak, make sure the back support is really supportive, and you're not using your back to do this exercise. What you're gonna do, and I'm also gonna use my arms against my kayak, and I'm gonna roll my shoulders back and really engage back here. I'm just gonna lift and lower, and just do that a few times. And I'm gonna feel that in my low core. Okay, for this next one, you're gonna wanna make sure that your boat, it's not gonna compromise the integrity of your boat at all. So make sure that when you do this, it's not bending your boat out of shape. So you may or may not wanna do this. I am gonna take my hands at a place that's kind of feels good. And then I'm gonna have them in kind of a wide position here, and I'm going to bring my shoulders right above where my arms are, so I'm not back. I'm right here, but my arms are a little bit wider than my shoulders. And then I'm going to step back, and I'm just going to plank here, and I'm going to lift and lower my leg, and I can even go little knee in and out and in and out for either leg and core, and also nice shoulder exercise. You switch sides. Make sure that you're not dipping your core in. You're really engaging it tight. Think about like bringing your core in together like that. Okay. This one's a little bit different, but if you have a tree that you can get to somewhere, climbing trees is a good activity and something we don't do very often. But the nice thing is if you're going to do a pull-up on a tree, you have a big width, and that's going to be a little bit, it's going to build strength differently than if you're here. And you're going to get stronger over time. When you're climbing a tree, I like to just roll my shoulders back and engage my core. And you can just be creative about it. And what I like to do is try to keep my hips into the tree and do whatever kind of exercise. Core. And keep my shoulders up and not fall.
Yeah.
Cut. Okay, if you have any ankle problems like me, sometimes sitting in your kayak hurts your ankles after a while. So what I'm going to do is some strengthening exercises. You can always just sit and roll your ankle and flex and point. But another way you can strengthen it is by doing squats. You can do them just on the floor, just one-legged squats. And you try to keep your ankle in line so you don't want it rolling in or out. So you want to keep your arches lifted and your knee going over your toe. Obviously this is good for your glutes, but it's also good for your ankle. Okay, and then once you're feeling good about that, you can get to an uneven surface. They have actually these little things that you can stand on at the gym. They're kind of squishy, like flat balls sort of, but I don't have one of those. So you can use a towel, and it's just a little bit uneven. That's going to provide a little bit of a challenge. You can also go to something that's flat, but a little bit shaky. That also will provide a little bit of a challenge, as it, depending on where you're standing on it, it can kind of rock back and forth a little bit. You have something like a longboard. You can also do it on there. Try to keep yourself from going forward or back on that. You just want to stay in the center instead of staying back or forward. And that's going to be a little bit of a challenge as well for your ankles. So, namaste.
Thank you to all our people who helped us. Jane, me, which is Ella, the dogs, and my little sister Genevieve. Thank you.